Welcome back to Twisted and Mysterious. This is part 2 of the podcast. Enjoy.
Mary Ann was 21 years younger than Lionel, which seems to be a running theme. They had adopted a daughter named Adelaide, and she was 3 when they moved into Borley. Reverend Foister was a distant cousin of the Bull family and had even stayed at the house at some point as a child, so he already knew the ghost stories. So This was not a surprise to him when he moved in, like with the Smiths. However, the hauntings seemed to ramp up after the Foisters moved in.
Okay.
Mary Ann would hear her name whispered in the hallways. She claimed to have seen the ghost of Harry Ball on the staircase. Things would disappear and reappear days later in random places. The footsteps and other sounds were frequently heard. They also reported smelling lavender and other perfumey smells in the house. Objects were thrown at them almost daily. The service bells were ringing incessantly, sometimes all at the same time, which should have been impossible because of the way that they were, wired together.
Right.
Adelaide would get locked in her room. At one point, all of the keys and all of the doors fell out of all of the doors all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who witnessed that.
Yeah.
Mary,
I don't know how you can witness them all fall out of every door at the same time.
But I mean, I guess, if you were standing somewhere and you could see, the hall or whatever, and, they all fell out, but I don't know who witnessed that. So Mary Ann also claimed to have found a piece of paper floating through the air in the kitchen that had her name scribbled on it in what she described as a child's hand.
Okay.
She found other scraps of paper throughout the house with that same handwriting. And then she started finding messages being written to her on the walls of the rectory. One said, "Mary Ann, please help get." She wrote back, "I cannot understand, tell me more."
I need more information, say more.
Then the scribbles look like they say, "Light Mass Prayer." And then there's a lot of other scribbles that you can't really make out the words.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. I think I have the pictures up here somewhere. I just have so many tabs open. Go away, pop-ups. Where are pop-ups still a thing?
I was just about to say the same thing. Are pop-ups still a thing?
Apparently. Okay, so that's what the wall scribbles look like.
Okay.
So. And, it's so scribbly that, you can't really see. Mm-hmm. This one's the one that says light mass prayers.
Yeah.
And then this one, I think, I saw another one where somebody had, overlaid it with different colors. And it kind of looks like light in or light in prayers or something. I can't remember exactly what they said that they thought it said. But you can kind of see light right there.
Yeah, I can see that.
But it's so scribbly. Ghosts apparently have a hard time writing.
Well, ghost hands are probably not the most reliable.
Yeah. They're just, going right through the pencil. Mm-hmm. Okay, so... Okay. Several spiritualists and psychical researchers visited the rectory that spring, and most of them came away with the same conclusion. They all believed that Mary Ann was faking the activity. To which Mary Ann was shocked and appalled.
Shocked and awe.
The Ball sisters kept in touch with Harry Price and, were letting him know what was going on.
Uh-huh.
And so he decided to come back to the house in October of 1931. While he was visiting one evening, he and a couple of friends claimed that the wine that was poured at dinner turned into ink.
Yuck.
Yeah. Do you think that one of them drank it? And that's how they knew?
I mean, I would assume that maybe it turned a different color.
Maybe, but, if you're just all, sitting there, talking or whatever, and, they just picked it up. And...
Yeah, not, looking at their glass, just picking up their glass.
Yeah.
I mean, possibly.
And then it wasn't even really ink. It was just, wine that had gone bad.
Yeah.
But, anyway. They claimed it turned to ink.
It was balsamic vinegar.
Yeah. After they went to bed, the service bells rang all night. And Price also was suspicious of Mary Ann, and after he told his suspicions to the Reverend and Mrs. Foister, they severed ties with him.
Well, I mean, I guess I can understand why.
Yeah. They did eventually get a medium or someone from town to come and cleanse the house, and Reverend Foister said that the house seemed to go back to normal after they left, and normal as in no ghosties.
Yeah.
Not normal as, like...
Just the normal amount of ghosties.
Right. And then Reverend Foister retired in October 1935. Reverend Alfred Clifford Henning took over as rector in March 1936, but he and his family never lived in the rectory, and it was placed for sale. You know, you're right on one hand that, like, it's a lot of names, because I don't know why they introduce all of them with their middle names. Mm-hmm. Like, well, what's the point?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, why do we need to know what their middle name is?
We have a lot of names, too, I guess. Like, the same amount of names, but, like, we don't use them all at once.
Yeah. So, like I said before, the house didn't have any modern amenities, and it was too costly for the church to manage. And so that's why they decided to sell it. Harry Price wanted to buy it as, like, a spiritual retreat kind of a place.
Yeah.
But it was going to be too expensive to do the repairs and the renovations that it would need. And so he asked if he could rent it to conduct a long-term investigation of the property.
Yeah.
Reverend Henning agreed to rent it to Harry Price for £30 per year.
It's very expensive.
Yeah, so expensive. And actually what I saw was that was like a steal even at the time, because apartments in London were going for like £100.
Yeah.
Harry Price put an ad in the newspaper that read, because remember he wants to do a long-term investigation. I'm gonna read you this advertisement.
Okay.
Haunted house. Responsible persons of leisure, intelligence, intrepid, critical, and unbiased are invited to join rota of observers in a year, night, and day investigation of alleged haunted house in home counties. Printed instructions applied. Scientific training or the ability to operate simple instruments an advantage. House situated in lonely hamlet, so own car is essential.
Okay.
Yeah. And he had, like, a list of printed instructions. I didn't read them, but I remember Dark Histories read some of them, and one was like, you can bring your own camera, and if you see a ghost, take a picture of the ghost, but don't make any noise. But if the ghost talks to you, make sure to get the ghost's name.
If you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain.
Exactly. All of those very important things. Okay. So he received over 200 applicants.
Goodness.
He settled on 48. He converted the library into a war room of sorts, and in June the investigators began their work. This reminded me of, what's the movie with Owen Wilson? About the Hill
I know
House.
what you're talking about. I'm just having a hard time remembering what the name of the movie is.
The House on Haunted Hill?
I think so.
Yeah, because the Netflix show is The Haunting of Hill House, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so House on Haunted Hill. But I wonder if that's where they got the idea for that movie.
Maybe.
From this, like, where he's got all of these investigators in, like, a known haunted house.
Yeah.
Because every time that I heard something about this, I was like, that's like that movie. Let's see. Multiple seances were conducted, like, throughout the year that they were there. One made contact with Marie Lair, the French nun. Mm-hmm. She claimed to have died on May 17th, 1667, and said that she was buried in a shallow grave in the southwest corner of the garden near the house under a fir tree, and asked to be given a Christian burial.
Okay.
Price later claimed in a book that there was no way to prove that this was true.
How about dig her up?
That's what I said. Like, could you just, like, go out and, like, dig it up and see if maybe she's there? But, he, I guess, did not think of that. They also received answers via planchette writing. Mm-hmm. So, where they have the planchette where you put the pencil through and then, like, it writes rather than going to the letters. So they asked what they could do for the spirit, and it said get a priest. And when they asked if Father Henning could help them, it said yes. It also said that it was the one responsible for the wall writings when Marianne Foister was living there.
Okay.
They also made contact with a spirit named Sunex Amuris. Yes, that's a real name, apparently.
All right.
This was also through planchette writing in March of 1938, who claimed that the rectory was going to burn that night at 9 p.m. and end the haunting, and claimed that under the ruins they would find proof of murder.
Yikes.
Yeah, and I found a transcript of that because I couldn't find the actual, like, picture of the writing from this one. In that movie I was telling you about, it, like, illustrates this.
Yeah.
But it says, the question was, who are you? And it said, Sunex Amuris and one of the men mean to burn the rectory tonight at 9 o'clock, end of the haunting. Go to the rectory and you will be able to see us enter into our own, and under the ruins you will find bone of murdered IND wardens under the ruins. Mean you to have proof of haunting of the rectory at Borley. I guess IND is indecipherable because there's another one. The understanding of which game tells the story of murder which happened here. And they asked, in which room will the fire start? And it says, over the hall. Yes, you must go if you want proof. And it says, why cannot you give us proof here? And it said, we will. And it said, they asked, what will you do to give us proof? And they said, you will find music in the study. And they said, we know, Roger put it there. And it says, let him get it, and he will find it gone. Mean and mean once too. So, I don't know.
That makes so much sense.
So much sense. But I was just like, that's a lot of writing.
Yeah.
Because I even think that when people talk about just, like, using a Ouija board, and it'll be, like, this big, long thing, and I'm like, that, I would get bored.
Not only that, but I always think, like, there's not spaces on a Ouija board.
I know.
So it's just, like, letter after letter after letter, like, how do you separate it into words?
I know. And there has to be somebody responsible for, like, writing things down.
Yeah.
But anyway, spoiler alert, it did not burn that night.
What a bunch of lying ghosts.
I know. So at the end of the investigation, Borley Rectory was sold by the church to Captain William Hart Gregson, a retired captain of the Royal Engineers. And he's the person who wrote the article that I referenced from the BorleyRectory.com website.
Yeah.
He moved into the house with his two sons on December 16th, 1938. 2 months later, on February 27th, 1939, the house was destroyed by a fire. And so some people think this was like the dog dreaming. Does everybody hear the dog dreaming? It's funny because, like, her cheeks puff up
when she
does her little dream barks. Yeah. So anyway, some people think that this was, like, that prophecy, like, happening. It just didn't happen that night.
Right.
It was determined that the fire was started by an oil lamp being knocked over by a stack of books that had been knocked over. People like to believe that, you know, a ghost knocked the books over.
Of course.
And then some people say that they saw a figure standing in the window as the house burned. So shortly after the house burned, Harry Price published a book titled The Most Haunted House in England. 2 years later, Price requested to excavate the ruins to look for the proof of the murder that Sunex Amuris mentioned. The government wouldn't help because of the ongoing war effort. Like, they didn't have burly men to come help them do this.
No.
But Reverend Henning and the gardener assisted, along with Dr. Eric Bailey, a senior assistant pathologist. And they did find a piece of a jawbone with 5 teeth attached and a fragment of skull. Dr. Bailey confirmed that they did belong to a human woman, and after some analysis, it was determined that she was probably about 30 years old.
Yeah.
In 1945, the bones were given a burial in the Liston churchyard. Harry Price published a second book titled The End of Borley Rectory, where he concluded that the bones were Marie Lair's, and he was working on a third book about the rectory when he died in 1948. He had a lot to say about this place.
How did he confirm that those were her bones?
He did not. He just
said, these are her bones.
He just said these are her bones, yeah.
I am confirming that these are her bones.
And a lot of people think that he made up the whole story about Marie Lair in the first place, that, like, that wasn't even something that people had even said before he wrote his books. And just another note about the bones, I did see on at least one other source that when they found the bones, that they were thought to be pig bones, and that they were refused burial in the churchyard. So I don't know which one is actually correct. And then lastly, Borley Rectory was officially demolished in 1944, and during demolition, Time magazine sent a photographer to take pictures of the once haunted house before it was gone. And there's a rather famous picture of the house where in the doorway you can see what appears to be a brick floating in midair.
Yes, I've seen that picture.
Okay. So, now I'm going to tell you all of the bad news. So, there are no records of a monastery ever being built on the property. Okay. And so this legend was largely debunked and thought to have been fabricated by the rector's children to romanticize the rectory.
Okay.
And the story of the walling up of the nun may have come from Rider Haggard's novel Montezuma's Daughter, or Walter Scott's epic poem Marmion.
Okay.
So they think that maybe the kids just made up the story.
Okay.
The skull found by Mabel Smith had been sent to Harry Bull for reinterment in the churchyard, but he forgot about it.
Just have a skull lying around.
Stuck it in a cabinet and forgot about it.
Just put the skull over here and...
Yeah.
I'll deal with it later.
Yeah. I don't know where the skull came from originally, but it was said that it was sent to him to be, like, reburied in the churchyard, and he just... You know what? He probably had ADHD.
Yes.
I'm going to set this over here. I'll do it later. Never thought about it again. The smells the Foister smelled, remember they smelled lavender and other perfumes, could have come from the nearby Stafford Allens and Sons Limited factory that was about a mile away. They, I guess initially were a drug manufacturing company, but it was also called an essences farm, and they kept lavender, saffron, belladonna, digitalis, licorice, and peppermint to use in its commercial scents and essential oils and flavorings. So that could have just been wafting through the windows. One thing that I did not tell you about the Foisters was that in March 1931, they took on a lodger named Frank Pelis, who apparently liked people to call him Francois Dallet, even though he was not even remotely French.
I also like people to call me Francois, so I understand.
Marianne and Francois became lovers in the nighttime.
Ooh.
And Marianne later confessed to faking many of the hauntings as a way to cover up sounds that Reverend Foister might hear.
Yeah. It was a ghost, dear.
It was a ghost, I swear. She does say, or did say, that everything she faked, she had seen for real at least once.
Oh, okay.
But then she, just built on them. She did also admit to the wall writings. Mm-hmm. And after the medium cleansed the house and it went back to normal, well, apparently, at the same time, Marianne had started staying in the city with her boyfriend during the week. And so she was hardly ever at the house to haunt it.
Yes.
A journalist from the Daily Mail named Charles Sutton, who had gone with Harry Price to Borley Rectory in July 1929, published an article after Price's death in December 1948. In the article, he claimed that at one point in the house, a pebble hit him in the head. And he said that he seized Harry and he found his pockets full of bricks and pebbles. And he said that he told his editor, but they wouldn't let him print that story.
Okay.
Henry Bull, the first Reverend Bull, died of syphilis, which affects your brain.
Yes.
And that could account for some of the craziness that was going on during his time in the rectory.
The kookery.
The Time magazine brick photo is believed to have happened when a brick was tossed over the shoulder of a workman who was pulling down the building just out of frame of the camera. But that leads us to my favorite quote from Harry Price. People don't want the debunk. They want the bunk.
Yes. So, not the most haunted house in England.
It may or may not have been. I mean, there were a lot of people who swear they saw that nun.
Yeah.
So.
But would that make it the most haunted house in England, or just a haunted house in England?
The nun just makes it the most haunted house in England. Period. I watched another movie that was called The Ghosts of Borley Rectory, maybe. And that one is based on, like, Harry Price's investigation, like, whenever he rented the house. There are not 48 people investigating. He just has, like, 4 people with him or something.
Yeah.
But that one is very much made to be, like, a horror movie, and the nun is, like, very, like, scary looking and, like, jump scary, and
Yeah.
that one, I don't think, was accurate to the story.
Like
but
the film, The Nun.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I've never watched
Neither
that one,
have I. I've seen
but I
previews.
assume that the nun's probably scary in that one.
Yeah. I've seen previews, and the
Yeah.
nun appears to be pretty scary.
Yeah. Like, she's all, like looks dead and
Yeah.
scary, and yeah. There was another one that I just saw about a little while ago that I missed completely whenever I was looking for things to watch for this, but I don't remember that one. It was like The Haunting of Borley Rectory, maybe. But anyway, that's the story of what may or may not have been the most haunted house in England.
What was probably not the most haunted house in England.
Yep. Zach Bagans is probably sad because he never got to go and yell at the ghosts.
I mean, he still could. He still has the Dybbuk box in his museum.
I just don't understand. Okay, let's let the concert be over first. So pretty. That one was a short train.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't understand why the Dybbuk box is still a thing when the guy said
who made it up literally was like, guys, I made this up.
He made it up. And so I don't know why we're still pretending like it's real.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, so, I mean, I guess Zach Bagans could still go yell at fake ghosts.
Yeah.
Considering he still keeps the Dybbuk box around after it was debunked.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then it's so funny. I was thinking about how we're always like, pics or it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, we see actual pics, like the brick.
Uh-huh.
And we're like, but it didn't happen.
Right.
Pics and it still didn't happen.
Right.
So, like, I don't know. It's like you can't even trust the pictures.
Well, just like that one show that we're always upset about.
Oh, the one with the maid or the nurse or whatever.
And it was just like way too clear of a like
that was it looks like the ghosts in the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
Like how they're all like blue on the out.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that show? It was like a haunted like town.
It was it was like a very
specific.
specific town that they were investigating.
Yeah. And it was that one guy.
Yeah, why can't I think of his name right now?
Because he's the guy on Factor Faked, right?
Yeah. I didn't bring a device.
Let's see. Factor Faked guy. Factor Or he was the FBI guy?
Mm-hmm. Ben Hansen?
Ben Hansen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was so excited.
I know.
Which makes me, like, wonder, like, was he in on the joke? Because he looked way too excited.
Yeah.
But...
And I feel like if they got this evidence of this very clear entity, that you would have heard about it more.
Right, it would have been, like, national news.
Like, oh my god, look at this.
You would think. Didn't you go ghost hunting with Ben Hansen?
I did.
Okay, I thought so.
I did go ghost hunting with Ben Hansen one time.
You didn't see any clear ghosts?
No.
Or clear ghosts?
We didn't even get an EVP.
Ah, lame. Where'd you guys hunt? In the UFO museum? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be haunted, isn't it? Like
Supposedly.
the upstairs or something?
Yeah, so we went upstairs where, like, the offices are.
Mm-hmm.
And took a tape recorder and did an EVP session and got literally nothing.
Maybe you should have done the thing with the blindfold.
Maybe, but we didn't really have equipment.
Yeah.
And so we wouldn't have had the thing that did the
That's true. The
radio thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's lame.
Yeah. It was just a spur of the moment ghost hunt.
Yeah.
But we got absolutely nothing.
Well, that's more ghost hunting than I've ever done.
Yeah.
So, I guess there's that. I was really sad because, what's the fort that we were gonna go do the ghost hunt at? Fort Stanton. I guess some of the buildings got damaged in that fire, and I was wondering if it was some of the buildings where they do the ghost hunting at.
Yeah.
I was like, man, we never got to go do that.
Yeah. Fires be wild.
Yeah.
Wildfires be wild.
Wildfires, that's why they're called that.
Yeah, because they're wild.
They're wild. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I don't want to be scared by a ghost.
No.
But I also would like to have proof of a ghost.
Right.
Because I just have such a hard time believing in things that I can't see.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't believe most of the ghost shows that we watch because I just don't believe that they don't have a PA or somebody upstairs dropping things on the floor and making the noises.
Right.
And I don't believe that after they filmed that there's not some editing that's done.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would like to be in a position where I can see something or hear something in real time and like...
I'm very Fox Mulder about ghosts and aliens. Like, I want to believe.
Right. Yeah, it's like I want to believe that it's true, but I just can't.
I need some sort of empirical evidence.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's that.
That is that.
We're no good at stopping. Like, not stopping, but we're no good at ending these.
No. I mean, we just have nothing to say lately, and summertime is kind of boring. We just take naps.
So many naps.
So a lot of napping happening.
I feel like Harry Bull.
Yes. Just naps and naps and naps and naps. Just take a nap over here on the floor, take a nap over here.
Where's Sarah at? Somewhere taking a nap.
Taking a nap. Find a nook. She's in a nook taking a nap.
I wish I had more nook naps.
Yeah.
Nap nooks.
Nap nooks to take nook naps.
Yes.
But,
Dr. Seuss would be so proud.
I know. Except he was supposedly a terrible person, so.
Well, for the sake of this moment, let's pretend like he wasn't.
Yeah. Let's pretend that not all of our heroes are terrible people.
Right. I know, I was thinking about that because we were talking about the new Harry Potter series, and I was just like, it just sucks, because you can't even watch it in good faith.
No. You can't watch it in good faith. You can't watch it and feel good about yourself.
No.
Because she's such a terrible, heinous human being.
And it's just been such a large part of our lives for, like, the last, like, 20 years or something, that it's just, like...
Such a bummer to have it ruined.
Because I reference Harry Potter all the time.
Right.
Because I've read those books 1,000 times.
Right.
And so it's just like, I don't know. It's just been such a big part of our lives that it just sucks that, like, you can't even, like, say something about it without feeling icky.
Yeah.
About where it came from.
You just kind of try to distance yourself from it.
Mm-hmm.
And now, like, Neil Gaiman's in trouble for being a creep, and...
I know. I'm really hoping that one's not true.
Yeah. But it's just like... You gotta hope that at least some of your heroes aren't terrible people.
Yep. Okay, well...
We've got to get up early and take a cat to the vet.
Yeah. Okay. We are on social media at Twisted and Mysterious. You can email us at twistedandmysteriousPodcast@gmail.com. No penguins yet.
No.
No.
We're still holding out for the penguins.
No Chinese. No Greenlanders or Icelanders. I don't know what people from those places are called. No Alaskans. So, if you know anybody that lives in really cold places.
Yes. Or China.
Just
hook them up with our podcast.
Give them a nudge. And I think that's everything.
Are we posting on a weird day next week, or are we just going to post on our regular day?
I think we're just going to post on a regular day.
Okay.
That's the hope. We're going on vacation next week. And so we're probably going to record one more time this week, but then I'll just schedule it so that it uploads on our regular day.
Okay. Sounds good. Just trying to figure out what we're doing.
Yep. That's the plan. I don't know if it'll work out, but that's the plan. All right.
Well,
Take it
as
away.
Always, remember that people are gross and don't get murdered.
And if you are murdered, be more clear whenever you leave messages for people about where you are or what you need from us.
Help get.
Yeah. Complete sentences, please.
I need more nouns.
Yes. Less verbs, more nouns.
Yes.
All right. See you next week.